Amber doing the majority of the talking in our relationship. So I'm going to do my best up here. And I have my cheat sheet. First of all, I want to give a hand to everyone who got a part in making today so wonderful. So Connie, Chuck, Shelly, Ted, Mark, and of course Amber and Steve. This day has been wonderful, largely in part to all of your hard work. So great job. Now, Amber and I have been friends since 3rd grade, and that's not an ordinary feat to be friends for that long. So when I was thinking about how I was going to tell you about how we met, I could do that in a more clear way. Now, here's the story all about how my life got flipped upside down. I'd like to take a minute to sit right there and tell you how I became the best friend of that track right there. In Dallas, Pennsylvania, born and raised on a playground is where we spent most of our days, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all doing all jokes and dances outside of the school. And Connie and Chuck thought it was good to move into a new neighborhood. Amber put up a fight because she was scared. Chuck said he dropped her because she didn't like a thing. I pulled up to the school about 7 or 8 and I yelled to my mommy, "Yo mom, smell you later." I looked at my class and I was finally there, sitting in front of me with that red right there. So yes, we've been friends since the first day of 3rd grade, and it's been quite a ride ever since. So not many people can say that they actually grew up with their best friend, but we can now. We both were given biological sisters, but Amber is just about the closest thing to that, and I love her with all of my heart, and I want nothing but the best for her. But enough about Amber. Let's talk about this beautiful couple. I remember when Amber started telling me about this new guy, Steve, and she told me that she met him through Date Payon, which I took as a good sign, because I know that he loves Amber and he would never do anything to steer her wrong. When I first went to visit Amber and Steve, I immediately knew this was something special. They were so comfortable together, and I could see the mutual love and respect that they had for each other. And it made my heart smile to see Amber smile. I got to know Steve a little better at this meeting too, and even with some inappropriate jokes, I started to love him too. I can't believe that. They're such a wonderful compliments to each other, and they support each other in all of their ventures. Steve with his awesome expertise with Breaker's business, and Amber as she works towards her doctorate. This girl is going to be a doctor so soon. I think she deserves a round of applause. Now, I've been blessed to find a wonderful partner in marriage, and we've been married for a little over 5 years. So I definitely wouldn't call myself a marriage expert by any means, but I can definitely tell you that marriage is pretty messy. It's so nice to have someone you can always count on, and who's always there to love and support you. Now, on the same token, marriage is definitely not always easy. I love my husband to death, but he's a pain in my ass. As I'm sure I am to him. But I want you to know that those are the times that make a marriage special. And those are the times that you truly grow as a couple. And I want you to look around this room at all the people who are here to love and support this marriage and who will continue to do so throughout the rest of your life. Marriage is such a wonderful journey, and I'm so excited for you to start yours. I'm almost finished, just right there. Amber and I have so many inside jokes and also a lot of songs that have meaning to us, but there's one song in particular that when it comes on, I have to call and text Amber with a specific quote. And the song is called Slide by the Goo Goo Dolls. And the quote is, "What you feel is what you are, and what you are is beautiful." Now, we always related this to each other because we wanted each other to feel good, which, of course, this is fitting for today because, I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous. But I feel like You are Amber and Steve, the couple. So what you feel is what you are, and what you are is beautiful. Let's try. I wish you nothing but love and happiness for the rest of your lives. So let's raise our glasses to Amber and Steve. May your life together be nothing but beautiful.
Nice job, Lauren. I'd like to first start off just by thanking Amber's parents, Chuck and Connie, for hosting this lavish wedding reception. It's absolutely beautiful. And also, how stunning you look today. Amber, Steve. All right. I also want to thank everyone here for being part of this very special day. I know Steve and Amber very much appreciate it. For those that don't know me, I am one of Steve's oldest friends. It's amazing to think we've been friends since high school. Over these past 20 or so years, Steve has had a handful of girlfriends that never seemed to be the right fit. It became fairly routine for me to be having a conversation with Steve. And when I asked how things were going, he would say, things are good, except. So once I heard that, I knew it wasn't going to end well. And this played out time and time again over the years. And for a while, I wasn't so sure that he would ever find the perfect girl. I know Shelley had many sleepless nights over this as well. So one day I was talking with Steve, and he mentioned he was seeing a girl named Amber. So as time went on, all I heard is how great of a person she is and how lucky he felt. I was still skeptical. I was awaiting the eventual, things are good except line. I'm very happy to say that phrase was never spoken. In fact, it was quite the opposite. On one occasion, Steve confided in me that he wasn't sure why Amber was so loving and supportive of him. I think I speak for everyone when I say, I don't know either. But seriously, Amber, you are the perfect girl for Steve. I know myself, especially Shelley, we're very happy that you guys are married. So if everyone would like to raise their glasses, whatever you have in front of you. Steve, Amber, to many years of health, happiness, and we love you guys very much. Cheers. Nice job, out there.
Way to go, good!
All right, now we'd like to ask our best man, Adam Silverberg, to come up.
Stephen, I'd like you to break down a little test for me. What you're going to do right there is you're going to write down the first movie that comes to mind, your favorite first movie that comes to mind. Amber, do not look at it. Stephen, write it down, fold it up, and hand it to Amber. Amber will tell you when to look at it. We're always doing that, folks. Yes, I am Steve's older brother. And, growing up, I'll tell you a little bit about Steve. Growing up, I felt it was kind of my responsibility to help Stephen out. As the older sibling, as everybody here, if you're the older sibling, you understand stuff along the lines of Steve, stay out of the street. Stephen, get your head out of the oven. Stephen, get your hand out of the toaster. Stuff along those lines. And, over time, being the older sibling, it slowly turned into a sibling rivalry to where you would say, Stephen, only run in the street if there's expensive cars coming. Stephen, let's see how long you keep your head in the oven and hand it the toaster at the same time. Steve and I were growing up. I think my mom felt we shared a brain together. And then there was this one moment that we kind of had. I don't know if you would call it an epiphany, but Stephen and I went to the movies one time, and he and I and somebody else went, and there was a movie playing, and it was back in the early 90s. It starred Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Anybody remember this movie? What is it? Dumb and Dumber, thank you. So Steve and I sat there in this movie, and moments, if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, the trailer, and there were moments where we stopped and our jaws just dropped and we looked at each other. And we go back to watching the movie, and at the end of the movie, we got out and we stood there and stared at each other, and our jaws dropped, and I just kind of nodded at him, and he nodded at me, and we said, basically, that's our childhood right there. This movie was made about our childhood. Now, for this to go well, I hope this goes well. Amber, do me a favor, open up that piece of paper. Tell me what name of the movie is on that note. What was the first one he wrote? Thank you very much. So, if you need a paper, don't wrong. Thank you, Stephen, for making that work. You know, there was a phrase I learned later on in life that was behind every strong man there's a strong-willed woman. Whether that's your mother, whether that's your girlfriend, whether it's your fiance, whether that is your wife. Steve and I were fortunate enough to have two. I have my wife right there, and Stephen has Amber, and we also have our mother. You know, no offense to my father, but the only lesson he taught me was, look, son, either shave your head or learn to comb over because the hair's not growing back. Thank you, Dad. You can see him sitting over there. Anyway. But we're no offense to my mom, she kind of peaked. My wife, you know, molded me into the man I am today. You know, she really pushed me a lot and gave me a lot of direction in life. And when up to a couple years ago, you know, Steve always had the strong will. Steve always had the strong mentality. Steve had goals. Steve had desire. But he was lacking a few things, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he was lacking some direction, some focus. And when Amber came along, I felt that she provided that strong will that he was looking for. She provided that direction. She provided that focus to where Steve used to say, maybe I can do this, I might try this, we'll see what happens to. I can do this. I am going to do this and reach those goals that he wanted in life. And that's because, you know, the strong will of Amber was there to push him. Steve's changed. I know him, I've known him my whole life. He's known me his whole life. And, you know, I think Amber has played an amazing part in his life. And I don't know if you guys have seen how close you are, Steve, but I can tell you firsthand that I've seen it up close. And, you know, he might not be perfect like me, except he does have better hair. Seriously, Dad. Well, how does he have the hair? But, you know, over the years I've learned being married, it's, you know, when I fall, my wife is there to catch me. When she falls, I'm there to catch her. You guys have that strong bond. And you know that I can tell you that if anything, if you ever do fall, he will be right there to catch you. Let's raise a glass real quick, please. I don't have a glass. First, I'd like to really quick thank Amber's parents and my parents. You guys did an amazing job putting everything together tonight. Here's to Amber and Steve, Mr. and Mrs. Silver.